From the previous weeks, we went through the whole set of movement of grasping the bird's tail. So I'm going to just do a small review of every movement. So let's hope that we are able to enjoy the movement together. So we are on one leg position, rooting our left leg. Hands parallel to our feet, so right hand out, right foot out, and we turn. Use the intention, use outward with our pivoting our pinky on our right pinky. Try not to move our body and then sink our elbows. By sinking, we try to sink it much more than what we are moving. Intention goes lower and put down our foot with relaxation and opening our palm in order to extend our hand. Transfer weight. While rooted, use our axis in turn. Turning hands with intention bigger than through pivoting of our pinky. We transfer weight, rooting, raise up the toe, and pivoting with our central equilibrium again, and turn hand, relax right foot, transfer weight. So here we completed the grasping the tail. Within last week, there's 2 questions that asked by member. So I'm going to re-answer them through the video so that it can, for those who didn't join us, can actually get the answer. First question was intention on our hands. When we put intention on our hands, what does it imply? There's different ways to talk about or how to open the hand, because everyone has their different sensations. So we have to actually find a way for us to find that equilibrium of force and without force. Once we found that, then we are much more sensitive to our articulations on our fingers. So one way is just open the hand that I have always talked about. Put some intention on your index finger, and your palm actually try to have intentionally open it. When you open the palm, it doesn't mean that you stretch, but it's just internally you feel that the space here try to flatten. And automatically you feel all your fingers are actually trying to extend. You don't try to intentionally extend your finger, but just think about the middle of your palm that opens. There's another way that it's explained also through some exercise. So you can actually open and extend your hand to the maximum and release everything. Release everything so that you don't have anything. So this is not what we are aiming for. And you try to find the middle ground. So middle of major extension or nothingness, everything loose, and you try to find that middle ground. So you try to find where it starts to extend, but it doesn't extend to the excessive extension. When you do this, when you are in the position, how do you verify? Is it adjusted enough to get the balance of strength and also relaxation? Is when you are in position, you try, for example, I can give you an example. You can try to think about or conscious about the joints of your finger. For example, index finger. Index finger, the joints are there. If you want, you can even look at them because if you look at them, sometimes it's easier. For some other people, they don't want to look at them. They don't look at them and it's easier. So you pick your way that actually suits you better. But once you focus or you kind of be conscious and open to the joints, try to extend it. It doesn't really move much, or it moves slightly, but it's internally that you'll be able to kind of have some loose space between the articulation of your finger that you can actually release. Same thing you can apply to your pinky. So be conscious of your pinky when you're in position, and you try to think about the joints are, the articulation are extending. It doesn't have to move. It's just the feeling of there's some space for it to extend, but not to the point that it becomes tense. So that's actually the reference of how to position open our hand to the right level. So that's the first question. Second question is retracting your heel. So within the form, there is places that we do retract heel. Okay, and when we retract the heel, the question is the body going to move? And the answer is yes. So when we retract the heel, usually we are preparing for a turning. Okay, so for example, it's the palm that goes out to the face, for example. Then palm that goes out to the face, there is retraction of our heel. And the retraction of our heel does affect the central equilibrium. When our hands are out, we retract our heel, it pushes even further. It pushes our position even further, and in order for us to raise it up and turn. And this foot already has retracted, so it's very easy to turn around. So usually it's a preparation of turning, and also it can be, as in this movement, it can also be a reinforcement of the intention that we want to push outward. In cloud hand also, when we turn around and we put our hands down, okay? We put our hands down and we are going to step back and put our hands together. Stepping back, put our hands together, actually the whole central equilibrium is going to move downward. Okay, why? Because this hand is moving down and we are continuing the whole body to move down. So there are positions that the whole central equilibrium will be affected, but usually it's affected with the intention of a direction. So follow that intention on the direction so that you kind of preserve your central equilibrium as much as you can. So those are the two answers. So hope that that's helpful. And if you have more questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, bye-bye.